God TLC. We're having resolved within the first minute. Chill. We're still gonna keep that episode up because you got the gist of it. The only thing that really cut off sound wise those was action technology that has some of the streams. I was LG Bluetooth techniques. You wouldn't so fiber connected. So anytime you can use fiber, everyone, and I just had so. I mean, I'm wearing blue today, right? But I have so much technology that anytime I choose Bluetooth for the portability, I always go with Bluetooth technology. Moving forward, we for the podcast Tech That Builds Wealth, the podcast that I host, where I show you how to generate money you already own. Make wealth with the technology that you. Without further ado, everyone, I am currently finalizing some work. I believe we can be on a few tracks, right? Multitasking, chat business. I mean, we had some really awesome conversations. Posed a question to have the last session, and I go back to the previous stream, the one right before the thumbnail that I generated and created from scratch. This one post as well. It is pretty much just like our logo, so just our logo. You'll definitely see it with the 1000K road. As soon as we reach 1000K subscribers, we will have that drop party reward. And you don't have to send me anything. What you do is enough. I really appreciate that. Those are very some of you, the ones who've said kind words, but we're gonna have a vote very, very soon. And I'm just piling up the list of what you all suggest and recommend. If you don't, and someone always mentioned they do. I believe they. So hey, who blocks? So I mean, I did see something like that recently, and who knows what the gift's gonna be, but there's definitely gonna be balloon sound and some awesome music. And we've done the streams with the musics as well and breakdowns as well. And on the God TLC and show, you will notice that I challenged you all. There is a question, and the question came from here and got why do people or teachers or admin or whoever, I think it was teachers, right? Is that true? Are you here? And to get a degree. Well, qualifications, degrees, and experience. You want to have it all. It's a trifecta. It is something that will let your employers, people that you work with, to sort of know that you have the experience. And among people of different status, that whether or not it's worth it because of I don't know debt and all that. But if you can get a full ride scholarship or grant to fund your education, it's definitely non verbatim, but he was on the Bill Maher show, and he mentioned, hey, if I were to hire anyone to work with me, and I saw that because that let me know that you are vetted, you went through a system and graduated, and that in itself takes perseverance. That shows that you can work with diverse group members and people, and accomplish. It's a degree, but it's also like a badge of honor. It's an accomplishment. It's and those certifications then accumulate and earn like this big badge. Certifications can be, a lot of different ones, a lot of different badges. So there is a valor system, and it does show merit. So if any of you are wrestling with the idea or grappling with the idea of higher education, I suggest it. Anytime you can get free education, Jetta makes it better. Free is best. A lot of the times, definitely go for those alternatives, grants, scholarships. Sometimes you may win a full ride. Family. 7. Hello. Family 7, how are you doing today? What part of the world are you joining from? Awesome logo by the look at that. You 7 right next to each other, and it kind of looks like a heart. What is your channel about? Definitely interested in what your um, logo stands for. A red F 7. Welcome to the stream. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. You can description list that will pretty much earn some awards. And the stream welcomes Sarah today to today's Got TLC and Chill chat. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer. So, if any of you are new, make sure to subscribe. One subscription goes a long way. Changes the algorithm and range from education to music to movies. I met some of you here on the God Tender Loving Care Network. And some MMA guru said is that, yeah, you can pretty much make a living off of YouTube and streaming. So some of you are streamers yourself. Let me know how that is going and from what part of the world you are joining from. I know we've had a lot of people from the Philippines. Where are my Filipinos at? Pinoy, welcome, welcome. I am currently, as you all know, in a predicament. The predicament is that our studio home lab was hit by a flash flood. So we are reconstructing the area. I usually, lately, have been streaming from the God TLC lounge with all of the professional equipment. Everything's top grade quality. But I'm noticing today that the construction is affecting the stream, or I mean, what it appears to do. Like I've noticed some lagging, some glitches, and I'm currently working. Notice some on remedying those. This streamer glitchy, so smooth as butter or glitchy. Let me know, and I will definitely get it happen. And thank you for the new subscription, everyone. We're so close. We're like this again. All of these are archived, so you can always check your teeth. There's streams. If I ever check this one out, I'm gonna remember one day. 700. We were 100. 700. If I ever subscribers, review the Family 7 was here. Sarah and I'm going to talk about today is that was here. Good times. I hear that they're in Taurus. Let me know what your horoscope signs are, astrology signs, right? And any Tauruses, if it appears that you have a practice called moon bathing. Let me know if any of you partake in that or a sound bath when they take those Himalayan bows and definitely good to look into that if you have not did in those. And previous streams, you've seen that we've got some projects underway going to be bring up right now because the notion of working hard in whenever I'm talking to folks and giving my 2 cents on that, I pretty much say I'm a team player, but I also work great independently, and that's something that you can. And why do you think that's the case? If you work better if you work better on a teamly, hey, let me know. Why do you think that might be? Are you more introverted with a group? And I'm also working on something independent with the group and working independently on the same project. And I'm definitely noticing a lot more progress working independently. I do have to take a step back when working in a group because when you're working in a group, you have that component of other people leeway. Like I'm making work and make motivated critic or you that push yourself the most more than other people can. And, it pretty much should operate like a no judgment zone, like our podcast. But I definitely have noticed that, when frustrations arise, there is a new tier of communication that you have to access, and that teamwork aspect. Now, think of the sports that have always been my favorites. That have always been my favorites have ranged, but some of you may know me, the son of a boxing world champion. I myself am a mixed martial arts world champion, and those are all sports that we do independently, but we train with a team. Unlike, and I've done every sport, baseball, right? That's a team sport. There are not really many areas where it's independent unless you're in the outfield and you're standing around waiting for the ball to go your way, but you're relying on the team. Like, they give you one section to work on if you are on the outfield. Now, football, completely team sport, except maybe if you're, what do they call it in football? The person who kicks the ball. I mean, you're still there, but then you're just you run up to the ball and you kick it. So that's the really only independent section, and it's your responsibility to get yourself from A to B, etc. Golf could be considered an independent sport, even though it could also be played with a team, right? A support system. So I think I'm going to put golf in the tier of independent, because just like mixed martial arts, just like boxing, which I consider a martial art, but it has its own sort of separate area as a martial art, right? It's not considered mixed martial arts. It's considered a martial art, boxing, but it's separate. Boxing is boxing. Martial arts is martial arts. Mixed martial arts is its own entity, sort of, even though boxing is part of martial arts, right? Those are all very independent. Now, tennis, tennis is a toughie, but that is independent. I'm going to say that tennis is independent because I created a documentary on one of the top tennis players in the world, and I got to follow the tennis player around, and I definitely saw that there are coaches in tennis, there are team members, right, when you practice with, but when you're out there competing, it's you as a tennis player versus someone else, so it's independent in that regard. And one moment here, everyone troubleshooting. I'm thinking about sports that are independent and or teamwork. Now, even though this project here has nothing to do with sports, I always think of things very competitively. Am I the leader of the group? Or am I showing leadership tendencies? Am I supporting my teammates the best that I can? Etc. I'm very competitive. Let me know in the comments and chat. Are you competitive? Volleyball, team sport. There's no independent factor in volleyball at all. Pool, a team pool, billiards is independent, definitely independent. And any others that you can think of? Any other sports out there? Soccer, team sport, completely team sport. Even the goalie, like, you're probably as independent as you can be in the goalie, but you're relying on your team a lot. So, any others? So there are some technical difficulties here. I'm troubleshooting, but I definitely have to overcome this big obstacle. There is a big obstacle that I'm currently working on right now, and that is a technical component. Now, in technology, as some of you may know, patience, just like in life, is the biggest virtue. But when you are on a time crunch, like I am right now, you have to, in technology at least, right, you're troubleshooting, and in sports, find that sweet spot of making progress while providing quality work. And if your group or organization favors quality and quantity, right? Because we usually hear quality or quantity. There's that or versus, right? And that shouldn't be the case. I juxtapose that to our podcast episode, certifications on tech to build wealth, where out there in the world, there's this idea that, or conversation that certifications versus degrees versus experience. Well, no, 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 no. It's not or, it's and. You want to build. It isn't about dividing, it's about addition and multiplying. So when you add those words, that verbiage of or versus, then you're already putting yourself in a predicament. A large part of being successful in life, whether that be monetary, business, education, creatively, has to do with that word of patience. Now, patience is something that many people learn. It's definitely grew a great combination of nurture and nature, nature and nurture. Patience is one of those things that, why do you think sports exist? Well, I think the bigger picture is to teach you about patience. Wait your turn. Merit system, the value system, it's all about patience. And it's patience is a skill that we're all constantly working on. So in working in what we do, we need a lot of patience. And I'm gonna share with you all a little bit of the background of something that I'm working on right over here. So, communication. There are many forms to communicate, and I've noted that groups that bridge communication and make themselves accessible, or people who make themselves accessible, tend to perform or have a greater yield of success and or merit. And it's also about being complementary. If you're working in a team, look for the positives. It's easy. I mean, it's the easiest thing to put your group members down. But it's more uplifting, it's more empowering to, hey, you did a good job there. And if you have to read the room, if they welcome it, that is the point that you provide your suggestions. Hey, maybe next time you can do this. You might have better results, etc. And also, and the big word here is collaboration, everyone. That word is one that you want to have in your tool belt, right? It's not just about, like, I welcome some of you. Welcome, come to the show. Let's collaborate. It's not, and I work hard so that it's not me, 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 right? You'll hear me sometimes say, yeah, my project, but I do make an effort to say our project or our podcast or the podcast that we host. We, us, those are great, great, great words to use while being conscientious of me, I, etc. And I hopefully that going switching over to fiber helps so that there aren't any lags. Now, I've noticed this week, reflecting on the week here on God TLC and Chill, there's been a lot of, man, there have been a lot of obstacles this week. This week has been a week of recovery. It's like if you're an athlete and you're meant to perform while also recovering. If you work out, you understand what I'm saying. Or if you compete, you understand what I'm saying. It's like You just competed. You have to set everything right because the competition is gonna. It's like constant, never stopping is the feeling. And I'm actually right now competing against the time. I do have a deadline, but I position myself that everything is right where it needs to be when I need it. And I tell you all this: work ahead so that you are never in a position where you're just catching up, catching up. If you want to reach success and that milestone of achievement, it's very, very important that you are organized. You're on top of your work. There will be obstacles, trust me. And when those obstacles present themselves, that you are not like shocked. And I've been in those positions, and you just have to learn and keep on moving. Now, if you're ever in those positions and something inequitable happens where it's like, hey, you didn't meet the deadline, well, position yourself so that the deadline is not even a problem. Like, what I'm trying to tell you is if something is due in a week, let's say something is due in 7 days, in your calendar, everywhere in your planner, everywhere, everywhere, you need to put that it's due in 6 days and submit it that day. Because on the seventh day, you may have, maybe there may be some issues or complications. So always account for that. And I know we're talking a bit more on the technology side, and I do have a podcast for that, but I really want to focus our conversation right now on the communication and collaboration part of what I'm up to here on God TLC and Chill. It's been very hard to chill, but I've been able to chill and talk with you all. And right now, I'm like, it's, it almost feels like gaming. Like you're on this mission and you're almost there, but you need to keep going at it and be very persistent. Show that you are resilient. Be open to feedback. Give compliments. Be very complimentary. That's something that I strive to do with my group. And that's something that juxtaposed to working independently, you don't have to do. Besides to yourself. When you're working in a group, there's so many other factors. Not more factors, but other factors. And if there are team members that are doing like an awesome job, highlight them. But do it in a way that doesn't make other people feel bad. Because, you're a stakeholder in your. Hold on. You're, I've got rescue dogs, and I have to keep an ear out for them. And cats. And we had birds. If you've been part of the stream, you know. So always highlight, even the family and friends, always highlight what you appreciate. And always let them know that you're grateful. God blesses grateful hearts. And if the more grateful you are, the more opportunity you're going to have. And it's just a very simple way of making the world a better place. So always make sure you get your work done, the vitals, the essentials, and leave time and space for the stuff that it's optional, but it goes a long way, like being complimentary to group members or business people, your business partners or co-workers, etc., classmates of some of your students. Hmm. And there is an art in being complimentary. Short and sweet is one of my most favorite expressions, and I don't know why, but anytime I think about short and sweet, I think of cake. Maybe because of strawberry shortcake. Perfect. Yes, we got it. So, I'm someone who also supports using a planner. Now, in whatever business, always use a planner. I know many of you use those digital planners, but a physical planner as well also makes the difference. And yeah, we're going to transition topics soon. We're going through a lot of this work right here. I'm looking at deadlines because, as you all know, if it's due in 7 days, I'm getting it done way before so I can submit it at the latest on the 6th day. Perfect. Terrific. This is the thing right here that I'm looking for. Okay. Wow. Okay, I see. Hmm. This is very interesting. Okay. That's why reading and rereading things and even reading things out loud also help. So I believe everything is complete. Good. And we're all set. That is some very good progress. Thank you everyone for joining today. Got TLC and Chill. I will see you all on the next. Thank you for putting in that good work with me.